Let's...
Round one.
Right now!
How's this? Not even a match.
Do it!
This is so ridiculous.
Straight punch!
No, they got the first hit.
Yeah, this is it. Time to. Yeah. Can you read this? Can you read this? Ready?
How's this? The opponent's pretty good too.
Time breakthrough.
Here's everything I got. It's this!
Now finish him off.
Won't fall yet.
Amazing.
Here goes. Feeling good.
Oh no.
Time to move.
They're catching up.
Yeah. I assumed as much. Yeah. Do it. Can you read this? Why not give up?
Naoto.
Amazing. I can't believe you turned the tables.
Win.
Interesting. Okay, so what this looks like, I really have to say I like this. You know, you start off there, that's the introduction, and then that goes into Investigation Team Reborn into Countdown. But once you get to that one, it's like the story has several branching paths, and it's up to you which order you find stuff out in. So right now, my options are find the clues with Naoto, or Impatience with Rise. That's Chapter 2, and that's... okay, they're both Chapter 2. So, I know a lot of you really, really like Rise, but man, Naoto has always been my girl. The clock's ticking, echoes through the room as I look over the file I hold. It seems I yearn for some mental simulation to distract me from the sheer volume of information I'm attempting to process. I don't remember her voice. I'm sure she'll talk in a second. But when I look up, all that's before me are the tall stacks of files I brought in from the reference room. Even when I cooperated with the investigation as a detective, I'd only been in this room a few times. They must have ushered me into the drawing room on the highest floor of Inaba Station today in order to send a message. Don't draw attention to yourself. I lower my hat to rest my eyes and spend some time thinking back on the conversation I had a short while ago.
I see. In other words, nothing suspicious is apparent in the current Kirijo group.
Correct. There are no factors that would necessitate detouring Mitsuru Kirijo or the shadow operatives which she leads.
The man, holding the report, falls silent, pondering something. His reaction shows that he is most likely foresaw what sort of report I'd hand in. The well-dressed man before me belongs in the National Police Agency, Security Bureau, Security Planning Division, or in brief form, the Public Safety Police. It was he who requested the undercover investigation into Mitsuru-san's shadow operatives.
Mitsuru Kirijo seemed to have some idea who stole her cargo, yes?
She did indeed. To begin with, the culprit knew the contents of the cargo which even Miss Kirijo herself did not fully understand. It follows that the culprit in this case was someone with intimate knowledge of the Kirijo group's dark secrets. How Mitsuru Kirijo deals with this culprit will surely shed more light upon her true motives.
Half of that is true, and half sophistry. I need to discover the trump card in the public safety is hiding. For most likely, that trump card will lead us to the culprit of this case, the one who stole Lapras and threw her into the TV world. After a moment of silence, the man places a stack of thick folders before me. If he had prepared this in advance, that means he was weighing his options. He knows of my intentions, yet he must have made the decision that what they stand to gain is worth the risk.
Report to us again when you find out more.
With that, the man leaves the room. Seems my gamble paid
Whether I
off.
find out more or not, it's certain that something will happen.
Lapras' kidnapper hasn't been caught, and the case is ongoing. Even now, there may be developments somewhere. My friends on the investigation team must be having a strategy meeting at that food court around now. Though, it's been a while since any of us have seen Yu Senpai, so the conversation may have already digressed. Sighing, I force the twinge of loneliness and drop my gaze to the file that my
The
gamble won.
Kirijo Ergonomics Research Laboratory. An organization specializing in research upon shadows.
What I demand of public safety was an investigative document on the Kirijo Group's research institute, which no longer exists. The founder of that institute was Mitsuru Kirijo's grandfather, Koetsu Kirijo. The contents of the report were filled with matters that were hard to believe. The Dark Hour, a different world populated by shadows that seemed to intrude on the real world. The mysterious, almost alien artifacts known as plumes of dusk that can induce a personality. Humanoid robots called anti-shadow suppression weapons that were developed to oppose shadows. Artificial persona users who gained their abilities with special drugs. Had I not seen Aiga-san and Labras with my own 2 eyes, the supernatural contents of this file would seem ludicrously implausible.
A flood of shadows and the manifestation of personas. There are many similarities to what we experienced. The chief difference is that their catastrophe was artificially induced in the name of research.
I sense an unwavering commitment to duty from Mitsuru-san and her team. Though they, like us, are persona users, the horrors in this file must be why I detected a very different type of resolve from them.
I hesitate to look into such matters without their consent, but I doubt they would volunteer much.
From what I can deduce based on this, the culprit in Labras' case is without a doubt related to Kirijo. The ergo research clue that leads to the truth has to be here. And if by chance something were to happen to Mitsuru-san and her people, we would need to know more about our common enemy.
Shuji Akutsuki took the position of chairman at Gekkokan High after ergo research was disbanded. Mitsuru-san went there.
Now that's interesting. Shuji has not been in the series since Persona 3. He wasn't mentioned at all in Arena. He was just a faded plotline, so they wouldn't be bringing him back up unless they're going more along that thread, which is awesome.
Deceased in 2009. Cause of death. Falling from the school's observatory. Was it suicide? No listed family.
There's no other information in regards to him in the document I gained from public safety. The simplicity of the section in regards to this Shuji Akutsuki is an obviously important person, oddly left an impression on me. I thought it was like, that can't be it, can it? I finished reading over the material, but to be honest, it tells me little. Most of the principals involved are already deceased, including Koetsu Kirijo, Shuji Akutsuki, and the persona users whose abilities were artificially awakened. Still, I do learn something. The culprit's objective in Labras' case had similarities, but the purpose of ergo research, which is deliberately gather shadows in order to fuse them together, if that was the objective, wouldn't the TV world have been an ideal place for a test run? Exactly. That's what I was thinking earlier. As soon as I heard about gathering shadows, I said this is precisely when and why you would do that.
It may be best if I check inside of the TV world once more.
When I opened my cell phone to share my findings, scant though they may be, I noticed that the hour is late. It's almost the next day.
It's a bit late to call them. Which reminds me, I think I heard thunder earlier. Could it have rained?
That word, rained, gives me pause. During the incident with Labras, the Midnight Channel was broadcasting again. If her case is truly ongoing, does that mean it could come on tonight? A bad feeling crosses my mind. Beep beep beep!
Call at this hour? From an unknown number. Hello.
I got through. Miss Detective? Wait, no. Naoto-kun, right?
How do you have her number?
Voice. Is that you, Labras? What's the matter?
Listen up, because we got a big problem. Mitsuru-san and the others were on their way to Inaba, but they've gone missing.
Missing?
So we were gonna go look for them, but these weird guys came barging into the Shadow Operatives lab. I'm the only one who got out.
The Shadow Operatives research lab was attacked? Could it be the enemy? No, that's not it. This is most likely...
Labras, calm down. Can you describe anything unique about the people who invaded your headquarters?
Unique? They came in a big group. They wore suits. They showed this paper-looking thing, and they said something about an investigation.
Just as I thought. Public safety. I had my suspicions, but there could be no mistake. Though the Kirijo group and public safety are formally in cooperation, Public Safety privately has a low opinion of the shadow operatives. Hence, the request that I perform an undercover investigation. They must have found out about Mitsuru-san's disappearance, and used it as an opportunity to launch a compulsory investigation. But Mitsuru-san's disappearance, could it really be related to the Public Safety's move? Lapper said a moment ago that Mitsuru-san and her people were headed to Inaba. Why? While I think carefully, sorting through this new information, I asked Labras for more details.
I understand. What's your present situation?
I can't go back to the lab, right? Even if I could, I wouldn't know what to do without Mitsuru-san around. But then I found out the shadow operatives got these special folks who only get called up in emergencies. I just met up with them a minute ago, and we're about to go look for Mitsuru-san and them.
Understood. I'll cooperate as well. I'm sure the others won't say no either. We'll all try searching for Mitsuru-san.
Really? Thanks!
Labras, there's something else I'd like to ask. Why was Mitsuru-san headed for Inaba?
If I remember right, they found a weird shadow reading over there, so they were gonna go look into it.
A weird shadow reading?
An abnormal shadow reading is detected in Inaba, and Mitsuru-san and her people go missing when they head out to investigate. Even if this is unrelated to the public safety matter, I can't overlook this detail. Mitsuru-san and her people are persona users, and extremely skilled ones at that. If they're in a situation with no means of contacting help, then whatever enemy they face must be formidable. And the first such enemy who comes to mind is the culprit who kidnapped Labras and forced us to fight in the P1 Grand Prix.
She said the reading spiked all of a sudden. Did something happen over there?
Nothing springs to mind. Oh, sorry, hold on a moment.
I checked the clock on the drawing room. It's almost midnight. If there was an abnormal shadow reading, the midnight channel could be involved. I need to find a room with a TV.
I'm sorry, but let's continue this on the move. We should meet up at the very least. Actually, is that a helicopter I hear in the background?
Yeah, I'm surprised you can tell. We have a maid piloting one right now.
Wait, a maid? Personal helicopter and a maid piloting it? I never thought of my family as poor, but thinking back to that limousine, the Kirijo clan seems to be on a completely different level.
Let me think of a place where a helicopter could land around here.
Boom. As I continue to talk while walking down the hallway, all the lights suddenly turn off. Though it is midnight, this is a police station. There should be several officers still stationed here, even at this hour. However, in defiance of these facts, an unnatural stillness pervades the air. No, that's not it. The roaring helicopter rotors on the other end of the line have also fallen silent.
Labras?
My cell phone has gone dead, as if the batteries were drained. I try a few things, but it won't even turn on. Have all the electronics here stopped working so suddenly? I open a nearby door to get a better look at my environment. The empty room is hazily lit by the eerie red glow coming from the window. Walking to get a clearer view, I gasp at the sight outside. An obvious pall has fallen upon this quiet rural town.
Red fog?
Wow, that's quite a... What is that? That almost looks like Tartarus, but it's not. Seeing the town enveloped by fog, I can't help but remember last year's case. With the foreboding feeling that the situation has taken a turn for the worse, I quickly leave the strangely empty Inaba station. To be continued. Alright, so chapter 2 ends with... So yeah. Oh, wait, what? So that's chapter 2, and that's also chapter 2. I guess if you just wanted to replay specific parts of it. Okay, so yeah. You have to finish all of chapter 2 before you can go down to chapter 3. It won't even give me the option. Not that I would particularly want to. Interesting, and I could press auto mode where it would just go place to place to place to place to place. But I do kind of like coming back out of here and seeing my progress. So I have finished 5 of these sections, and I'm 8% complete. So each one, I was 5%, I did those 2, so it looks like each 2 are about 3%. And that one being the first one was a little bit more. So yeah, let's see what Rise is doing.